So you're going to WGU. It doesn't matter what degree you are going to get. I'm going to give you the same advice for every single degree, because what matters whenever you're pre-gaming is that you're getting ready to attend school, and then you're also learning as much about your specific program as possible. So these suggestions are not just for the MBA program or for the Master's in Management and Leadership, but applies to every single degree at WGU, or really anywhere. So let's dive in. The first thing I would do if I were going to WGU, even before I applied, I would track my time and list out a realistic schedule of how I'm spending my time now and where I could fit in studying. So before you even apply, you need to figure out, is this a good time for me to go to school? Like, do I have time to study? Can I fit it in? Especially if you're looking to accelerate, you can't accelerate only studying for like an hour a day or 2 hours a week. You have to look at whether or not you can do that. And if you can't accelerate, that's absolutely fine, but you just need to be honest with yourself about that. And I've had a lot of coaching clients who've contacted me and, said that they really wanted to accelerate, but that, they were taking care of sick family members and then they had children of their own, plus they have their jobs. I have to be realistic with people and tell them that you're probably not going to be able to finish it as quickly as you would like. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try, but I kind of had the goal of finishing in a week, but I couldn't do that either. So you just have to look at when you can fit studying in and figure out if this is a good time for school or not. Second thing you're going to do. So this is after you apply. You could do it before you apply, but I would just use like the 30 days in between, applying and starting to do this. I would start studying during the times that I found in my schedule where I could study. That way that I'm developing a routine of studying so that whenever school actually does start, I am used to it and I'm not struggling. And I'll go over kind of what you should be studying as well later, but you need to have that study schedule and then you need to use it even before you start, especially if you haven't been in school in a long time. If you're coming from a bachelor's program straight into a master's program, I wouldn't say you necessarily need this, but if you haven't been to school in like 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 years, you need to figure out how to study again. And that is absolutely fine. The second thing you're going to do, and you're going to do this during the times that you have set aside to study, you're going to do some research. So you're going to join every Facebook group for WGU that you can find, especially the ones for your master's program. And you're going to look at Discord and you're going to look at Reddit. You're going to find all the WGU groups and you're going to get in them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to search in those groups. So if you're on Facebook, you're going to go to the little magnifying glass and you're going to type in your program there or the names of your classes, which you can find online. You do not have to wait to start school to find those. So you're going to type in the name of your classes and then you are going to look at it and see if you can find study resources that people have used. And here's what you're going to find. You're going to find that a lot of people keep posting the same study material over and over and over and over again. If it gets posted over and over and over again because people are continuously recommending it, that's what you want to go with. Same thing. If you're going on to Reddit, you're going to search on Reddit. If you join the WGU Discord, like the unofficial one, then you're going to go in there, you're going to go to your program, and then from there, you're going to find the resources to study. I didn't really use the Discord whenever I was going through the program. I think I found it 2 or 3 days into the program, didn't really use it, but I know a lot of people use it and they really swear by it. So could be really, really useful for you. I know that a lot of times they have rubrics for the papers and things of that sort in there. And even if they aren't up to date, the subject hasn't changed that much. You're probably still going to be learning the exact same thing. So you're going to make sure that you kind of know what's expected of you. So after you've researched, the third thing you're going to do is compile all of that material. So you've found the best of the best study material that has been recommended for the OAs over and over again. You have found the old rubrics. Maybe they're still current, maybe they're not. Again, the subject's probably not changing that much. You're gonna find, the study guides, the Quizlets, the Ankis. Like, you're gonna find all of that, and you're going to compile it and pick out the best of the best resources. So you've researched, you found the best, you've put it together. Now you are going to start studying the material. And here is how you're going to do that. For the OAs, and that's really what I would concentrate on, is the OAs. I never concentrated on the PAs at all. The PAs are the papers, the OAs are the exams, and they are multiple choice. I didn't concentrate on the papers because it's hard to study ahead of time for those, but you can study for the exams. You're going to take the flashcards. If you found flashcards, you're going to take the flashcards and you're going to put them into Anki. There's an add-on that you can use to take them directly from Quizlet over, or you can put them in by hand. A lot of times that's easier, or it helps you to remember better. So you might want to try putting it in by hand, like typing it on your own from one to the other. And then it's spaced repetition. So you're going to study those things. So classes that I would recommend doing that with, I would recommend doing it with the finance class. I would recommend doing it with the accounting class. And then I would recommend doing it with the data class. Data-driven decision making, I think, is what that one was called. People find those classes to be really difficult. And so I would recommend at least starting those. If you start nothing else, starting those. So you're going to put those each into an Anki deck, and then you're going to set that deck to like 50 cards per day, and then you're going to study them. Now, if you don't have time to do 50 cards per day, but you're still going to go in, maybe you're not accelerating as quickly, or maybe you're wanting to do it in a year, or I think you could probably still do it in 6 months, even if you only dedicated like 10 hours a week. But I would do a lesser amount. So I would do like 25 a day. And then, but making sure that you're doing different decks. So you've got your finance deck, you've got your accounting deck, you've got your data-driven decision-making deck. You could also add on the economics deck. You could add on all of them, which I would recommend if you had enough time to do so. But if you don't have time, start with the classes that you know are going to be the hardest for you. And if you don't know what's going to be the hardest for you, whenever you're researching, look through the content that you are finding and see what you already know. If things are looking very foreign to you, you've never seen them before, you don't know what this is, that class may be a struggle for you. And that's fine. You're here to learn, so you're going to learn. But you can learn before you actually take the class. So that's what I would do. I would study Anki. Now, for the PAs, which are the papers, I would find the rubrics online. You can also find people's old papers online on like homework help websites. I would be really careful doing that. I didn't do that. I just know that you can do that. I would be extremely cautious because you never want to plagiarize. That would be a very bad idea. So I probably wouldn't do that, but I would just familiarize myself with what's going to be important so that whenever you do start going through those classes, you can see, oh, I should be looking for this kind of thing and that kind of thing. And that's what's going to be important because you're going to write to the rubric. That's how you make good grades on these PAs. This is how you get like the excellence awards. Like first time you turn it in, you've done absolutely everything it has asked for you to do. Plus there's no grammar mistakes or anything like that. You've used Grammarly, you've used some sort of copywriting service to like edit your papers, whatever you choose to use. And that's how you get the excellence awards. But that is how I would pregame if I were going to WGU again. That's how I pregamed. I first set my study schedule. I was realistic about it. And then I did my research. I found all of the study material I wanted to use. I found the best of the best. And then I collected all the material, I put it into Anki, I studied the classes. I only had time to study the classes that were really difficult for me because I was still working before I started. And then I was supposed to take 2 weeks off, but I wound up getting laid off like 2 days before starting WGU. So I had a lot of time. But I planned to take 2 weeks off anyway, so I would have finished in probably the same amount of time. I did have like a fire lit under me though, because I had just gotten laid off and I needed to find a job, and I was like, maybe getting this MBA will help. We all have our different things that, you know, ignite our motivation. So I hope you find what motivates you. If you're worried about the PAs, don't be. Learn to write to the rubric. Whenever you're doing the research, you're gonna find what a lot of people say about these papers, what a lot of people say about how to write them, places where you can get the paper reviewed before you turn it in, but you're gonna know how to study for each course before you go into it. So if you choose to accelerate, you can do it that way. But these tips are still helpful even if you are not going to accelerate, but you just wanna get on top of things and be a good student. So that's what I would recommend. I hope it's helpful. Everyone have a great day.